Frank Fresh. Can't get rid of Public Enemy. Y'all know what time it is now.
Revolution will not be televised.
Y'all know what time it is. Y'all know what's connected to Public Enemy.
You already know what time.
Y'all know what's connected to Public Enemy.
Night of the Living Bases.
Talking about bass.
Bass.
Go.
Come on with it. So y'all know we killed the Public Enemy so we can go on and bring none other than, let me hold on, stand up this y'all. We're gonna bring none other than the original host of BET's Rap City, the mayor, Chris Thomas. What was instrumental in wanting to have Chris here is like, so as we do hip hop anthology, my whole thing is to go back to the history, because everybody just see us where we at now, where we just rowdy or we chaotic. And who better to bring the history to us than the man who set it off and was bringing it to all of us in our Midwestern living rooms. You know what I'm saying? So the fashion, the film, the culture, the whole story. Chris has a lot of firsts, for one, to rock comedy and hip hop. You know, Rap City was one of the longest running shows. He held it down longer than anybody. I know we all know the Young T Rap started off. Big fan of Fast Five, Freddie, Dre, and Lover. But Chris held it down long.
Rap City closed in on it.
Closed it in.
I'm going to give MTV Raps the credit for being brave. I don't think BET even thought about it. Bob Johnson did not want Rap City. They did not want it until they saw some of the ratings over at MTV.
Right.
And a guy named Alvin Jones was on the radio. Remember, you've all listened to the radio, The Quiet Storm. So Melvin Lindsay from Washington used to have a show on Black Entertainment Television. When Alvin Jones left and came over to BET, they were having a big discussion about it. I was still on the road with the groups. You know, a lot of people didn't know that I was like, I used to come here all the time, Public Enemy. In fact, we can talk about that a little later. I was on the Heavy D tour when most of that tour when T-Roy fell off the rack. I saw him fall off the rack.
And me and my cousin was right by him when it fell. They went to the next floor under us. So
yeah, he was higher than that traffic light behind Market Square Arena. That's how I judged how far he fell. And it was a crazy, silly game that we were playing, but the really crazy thing about it was when the manager puts the trash can down the ramp and he set up on top of the ramp. It was like Final Destination. Because earlier that, during the tour, him and Tupac, they were buddies. Him and Tupac, they hung out every single day on the tour. But it was so crazy is when the guy puts the trash can down that ramp, it turned towards Chief. And he lifted his leg up and he was gone. So I can see everybody's face now. I can tell you what Tupac was doing. He was crying. He was crying and sobbing. Flavor Flav. The doctor actually said he had cracked his skull. So his eye was wide open. He's laying in the emergency room. Doctor said, can you talk to him? Maybe we went a little bit too into it too fast with what happened, but since we are in Indianapolis, that's kind of my last memory of the show, but it was canceled. It really actually had just started. And I can tell you what Flavor Flav, he was eating a steak and cheese. And he was like, come on, G-Roy, man. Wake up, man. I'll give you $100. Heavy D was outside of the emergency room, sitting on the corner, just shaking his head and said, what am I gonna tell this kid's mom? And I think that might have been probably what happened to Heavy D too, through his passing away early. Just some things you just can't get off your mind. You know, and I don't think that he was ill because he had lost a lot of weight. Remember, he came down with that. He became a diabetic. But I remember the whole thing. I remember it was sad. Just the way it happened because it could have been prevented.
Right.
That's why I said it looked like the final destination.
So we know that was like definitely the low point of that tour.
It was.
And you've been on a lot of tours.
I've been on a lot of tours.
Let's hit them with some of the highlights or some of the things that they may not know about. I done had the opportunity to rap it to you for the last couple of days.
Right, yes, sir. We like brothers, man.
We got some good stories. Hey, Chris is just, like, being a comedian, dude is just natural funny, right? So last night we were gonna hang out. I'm like, we just hanging out. He jumped on stage.
Right, bro.
That's just how he is, man. So
And the guys here, where's the
Sue, I seen him, he left.
yeah, he was here.
We had one of the comics was here last night. Trees might pop in sooner or later. But
Well, I've seen a lot. But you know, we always try to start off when hip hop started, and we got to get whoever started hip hop, was it Curtis Blow or was it?
I guess before.
They got many names, but we
We
still
don't
have
heard
to
it
be
was
the process.
the first commercial like success and with the big contract and the money.
No, well, I'm just talking about hip hop.
Just in general.
That's like English or W. Bell invented the phone. You gotta always give those people their credit, regardless if it's nationwide or worldwide, because Indianapolis have their own style of hip hop. See my man up here, Midtown writer, and you know, and like Washington D.C., we would go. We forever and will always be the town of go-go. They passed the bill. Our music is go-go. Chuck Brown, Rare Essence, Belladonna, and I even did a record with the group EU, the one that did the record, The Bud. Trouble Funk, another brother, y'all know how. And they all my friends, they're still doing very, very well.
Got your homie, DJ Cool.
DJ Cool, yep, DJ Cool, Nonchalant, Little Benny, he passed away. So music is what's in the spirit. A lot of people used to say white folks can't dance. You know why? It depends on what instrument you listen to. Right. Am I right? Yeah. That's because I was on a cruise and like dude said, I ain't got the rhythm. I said, because you're listening to the damn saxophone. You gotta listen to the drums or maybe the guitar. You know what I'm saying? And that's the rhythm of dancing, whatever you hear. And then sometimes it's whatever you connect with, correct? Yeah. Just like when you paint. It's what you see, your vision, like the young brother, sister was up here talking. Well, God is amazing, isn't he? Yeah. He is about as great as he can ever get because of all the assortment colors that you see. And that's how he made us. You know, the next person that you see that have green blood, now he's different. As long as blood pour red, we're all the same.
Let's talk about what you remember about your first episode of Rap City.
I remember the audition. Everybody auditioned. Carl Payne from Martin. And everybody was wearing bow ties. They was actually dressing up, and I wore a tour jean outfit. I think that was the style. I wore a tour jean outfit. But believe it or not, I think it was going to be given to me anyway because of my association with all the hip hop tours that I had already done. And my name was already being said around the town. They kept talking about everything that came to me was basically through word of mouth. You know, I was the guy who did all the concerts with Miles Davis, Prince. I mean, that's one of my first shows with Prince and Tina Marie called Laryngitis. And it was really my debut. I only supposed to did 7 minutes, and when she couldn't sing, this when he had the lid tarts on, remember? He had the album Controversy. Yeah. So a lot of that's kind of kicked off, and with the hip hop, believe it or not, one of y'all favorite comedians turned it down. I was asked, Chris Rock turned down going on tour with Run DMC. And my manager, and then my manager said, well, we're gonna take a shot. We're gonna have Run DMC, Jam Master Jay come to DC. And we sat down at the Marriott Hotel on 14th Street. And I had them dying laughing. I don't know what I was saying. But I'm an impressionist. So I was doing impressions back in them days. What was famous then is not famous now. We had characters like Wolfman Jack. All right, it's a Wolfman Jack. I hear midnight special. Howard Cosell. This is Howard Cosell today at the great moments in Mohammed Ali. Who said I'll look all of them? What's your phrase? Can you listen? Somebody was right about I had him cracking up. And he told me to go pack. And I don't know how I got on the bus with Public Enemy. Because they were so controversial till the CIA was following them. And they were definitely into Minister Farrakhan. They had all the taste on Minister Farrakhan's son used to come on the tour bus. But me and Flavor clicked. Me and Chuck, I used to have them all just dying laughing, man. We used to rag on Professor Griff because he was so short. We used to always come up with little short jokes. Say, Griff, tell me a short story. And Flavor was a genius. Other than hip hop, the guy could play around about 5 instruments. He could play classical music. So at the end of the tour, me, DMC, and Will Smith would hang out. That was the group for almost 3 years. We used to sit back and just talk and laugh, and the S1Ws and Chuck, they had a regiment, brother. They wouldn't eat nothing with animal fat in it. But me and Flavor did. They was eating tuna and we was eating ribs. But we used to have a good time, man. And I think one tour, I went on tour with Run DMC. What is fun has been on the bus with Public Enemy. And then, well, let me go back, because I got to give credit to W. Fresh, because that's the first guy that took me on tour. That's way with me, W. Fresh, and Danny Dane. Just way before Public Enemy. But I guess we don't count that. Oh, we count. Tell us about it. Well, it was good. I mean, Dougie had saw me, and Dougie, I don't know how old Dougie is, probably in his 50s or something like that. Nobody likes to talk about their age, but it's better to be old than be young, if you ask me, because those who are young, you should want to be old. Life is no joke. So you haven't got to the other side yet, so you don't know what's over there. The land of milk and honey, or the roof is on fire. Pending. So, Dougie used to take me on tour, me and anything. We were so young, I was just having a good time. You can cherish those moments. And that's basically, I didn't really cherish a lot of the moments because I was hot, I didn't just tour with the rappers. I toured with Cameo. I toured with the Barcades. I toured with the Shy Lights. I toured with Switch. I toured with all of those guys too. I was just young and everybody would put me on their tour. They thought I was what they needed. And then eventually, when you get up there, me and MC Hammer, don't hurt. And it's just, that is what's like in I'm a very spiritual person, everybody. I believe wholly in the almighty living God. I don't take it for granted. I believe prayer keeps you around and makes your life a lot easier. Like we was talking about COVID earlier. COVID took a lot of people out of here. A lot of good people. And believe it or not, a lot of great doctors. It ain't like these new doctors, but they took a lot of great doctors. Doctors like the people who were down in that submarine. They were very important people who are drowned with that submarine going down. So when you lose part of that, you lose a lot of what they know. You know, when the last time you've been in our doctors back in the day, one doctor knew everything. Now you gotta go to one doctor for everything, another doctor. If your ankle hurt, you gotta go to a specialist. If your ear hurt, you gotta go to a specialist. But back then, had one doctor, he would tell you what you needed, move on.
Let's talk about, so I know now, like right before you and I got to talking about you coming here,
Right.
you was just finishing the documentary
Right.
for BET.
Right.
Just give us a little bit of insight on that documentary.
Well, everybody was kind of pissed because they would have the hip hop awards. Tigger got them to bring it back, but he didn't bring back Rap City in the Basement. He brought back My Rap City. He left out In the Basement out. So we thought that maybe when he first did his first interview on the Hip Hop Awards several years ago, that he should have brought us back. Yeah. Big Legs she was furious. She said, Chris, you know, BET called me and said that they wanted me to do their documentary on Rap City. And I told him, hell no, you're gonna pay me. I said, really, they pay you for doing documentaries? She said, yes, they gonna pay me. But then they called me and she said, well, how much would you charge to do the documentary? I said, I don't know, I just want to keep my legacy alive along with the other artists like Joe Claire and Prince A. Jordan, Prime. Then they called and gave me a lump about how much money they was going to give. I was like, cool. That makes sense. But then the problem was, after we did the documentary, they started paying like the old BET. This is Viacom. Ladies and gentlemen, for all the channels they showed BET Awards, those all the channels, it was like 6 or 7 of them that owned BET. They got the money. So we went around 1 month, the check never came. I called Big Lady. She said, you know damn well I got my money. I got mine before I even did the documentary. I'm like, how did you pull that off? So they sent the money, and it really wasn't a big deal. But as long as they were paying, I won't mind too. So we had a long interview. We interviewed around 2 hours, and they was just asking about the history of where did I start. In fact, they had me all down there wrong. They had me hosting Rap City from 89 to 91. And that was wrong. I went to like 93, 94 because when they got rid of Prime, and for the record, Prime said something about Arizona not worshiping, what was that?
King Holiday.
King Holiday. And he spoke up and they got rid of him. And so, for some reason, when they brought Prince A. Jordan, we was real cool. So I was kind of, working along with him. Just put it this way, after I did the comedy special with BET, I did several shows with BET. I did the first game show with BET. called Tell Me Something Good. Then I did the comedy special with Robin Harris hosting. And by that time, Bob Johnson, because I used to always hang out with Bob, he used to always let me do whatever I wanted to do. He used to tell people at the station, his staff, they couldn't drink, but I could drink. So me, him, he used to hang out with Butch Lewis, the boxing promoter, Donnie Simpson, he used to hang out with, and Eddie Levert. That was the little amigos. And so, just for the, I done lost track of stuff like that. You got me remembering so much. I'm about to tell you what day I was born. I'm a twin, you know.
No, we didn't know
Yeah,
that.
I have a twin sister.
Okay.
She's around 5'1". For real. She's 5'1", I'm 6'3". I ask my mother and father every day, are you sure I'm yours? I could be Will Chamberlain's son.
What's one of your best memories, Chris, from hosting Rap City? Or your top 2 or 3?
Many. I think when I got Big Daddy Kane to talk. Remember you have a portable phone you can carry with you?
Yeah.
In the big old little box. And one day he was on the show and he said, you know, Kane don't do a lot of talking. So I had somebody, or I set the phone so it would ring on the set. And I'm talking about, I think, yeah, he's here. Yeah, he's right next to me. And, you know, to break the ice, make him laugh. Hand the phone to him and he said hello, nobody said hello back. And he started laughing. Then we started talking. Another time was when I had brought my first Maserati. And it was a 2-seater, made a special edition of this car. Chrysler got mad at Ford, called it the T-Bird, the 57, T-Bird in the window. So Leon Coker got mad at Ford and made a car similar to that with the circle in the window. It was called the Chrysler TC by Maserati. So we did a skit. This is by now. So let's go back a little bit. The Rap City did not evolve until Will Smith told them to let me do what I do best. That's what happened. They used to try to write in the teleprompter how to speak hip hop. Now I know how to speak hip hop. They don't really go around saying, yo, what's up, homie? What's up?
Right.
They speak regular dialect, speaking to like we speaking now. So they used to write it. So Will Smith saw it. And after the commercial break, Will said, Chris, what they doing to you? I said, what are you talking about? He said, they kind of write hip hop. I said, I know, man, but I just started with the station, so. I don't know what their egos are like. You know, they think they own the station because they work for the station. So I'm gonna shut up and I'm gonna read this teleprompter. But Will spoke up, he said, what are you doing to Chris? And they said, excuse me, Carmela, which was my producer. He said he knows what to do. He's traveled with us. He already knows what to do. And she said, well, what do you want to do? I said, I don't want to sit in the studio no more. I want to go out. I want to see what the hip hop artists, what do they do? I want to see if they ride on horses. What are you gonna do in the studio? Do they play arcade? Do they swim? Let's do something different. Let's take them out and let people see what they actually do, you know. And that's when it evolved. That's when I was able to put my comedy in. And then the dance came when and that's how it was. I used to sit on the set and the music was playing. Did I send it to you? He didn't get to get that, did you? Not the song, not the rap, but how Rap City used to come on. Dun, 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 dun. Rap City. Dun, 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 dun. So she could say, well, do something. And I mean, I'm sitting on the bench. What am I going to do? I ain't going to be able to do the bar. So I just start doing that rhythm thing again, you know? Dun, 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 dun. Rap City. Dun. And that's how the dance came in. And Rap City, that's what I contribute with hip-hop, was comedy. And then being on the tours, performing in places like this. Imagine Market Square Arena. Look how big that place is. My job was to keep the kids from fighting. I had to go out there and be that entertaining. Because I seen them kids do some crazy stuff. Them threw a cherry bomb on stage and hit Will Smith, blew up in Will Smith's back. They went out and found some guy. I don't think he did it. But they broke his arm. Will was happy. Are you sure that was the Lord? Yeah, Will, we saw him. I was saying, it's not him. He left. They just throw crazy stuff on them too, man. They just throw quarters, pennies. I know one time he hit Flavor Flav in the back. Oh! And Flavor said, cut the motherfucking music, man! Yo, G, you throw another quarter up here! It was crazy. Bro. But not often. Not often. It didn't happen often, though. I would have been off the tour. I kept them entertained. I even did a rap. You got my rap record? This is a rap record I did a long time ago just to put me in. It's called Celebrity Funk. Check this out. So I'm doing impressions on it. It's called Celebrity Funk. I think this is great what you're doing, because you're showing the culture of hip hop worldwide.
Absolutely.
Through the art of art. It is no lie that I love my generation of hip hop a little bit more. I'm not going to take nothing, but I can tell you really who was a visionary was Jay-Z. Because when he did that hip-hop song called Hawaiian Sophie, do y'all remember that? Jazz, yeah, but
The old jazz.
oh, the Hawaiian Sophie with the and that was kind of like out
They
of
were
the
a
box.
hype man, actually.
Especially from New York, huh?
Yeah, he was kind of almost a hype man.
Yeah. But it was different. It was. Do you have that? Listen to the go-go beat. I mean, it's not. It's New Yorkish. You know what I'm saying? But you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
With, you know, with hip hop music, go-go, R&B, because they all coincide with each other. The sampling or the message of the lyrics. So,
True. So we're gonna leave some time for questions here for a minute, but I got a couple of spots.
go ahead.
We can talk about. So we got Candy from the Candy.
Yeah, Candy, can you go ahead for a second?
And I'm gonna switch spots with Candy for a minute because Chris, when I told him he was coming to town, he kept asking me, do I know Candy? Do I know Candy? And Candy is like, she has her show, I'm gonna let her just break it down, you know, real quick. But she got some history that just caught Chris's attention. And for the past few days, he's been talking about this, so I'm just happy to have Candy here. And she's also backing us up recording this for us. I don't know what happened to the video, but y'all listen to Candy and Chris for a minute.
Well, what happened was Rap City did come to Indianapolis, and I think Third Base came, Stetson Sonic, came to your high school.
Actually, it wasn't my high school, but they came in February of 1990.
1990.
And I was there, actually, it was North Central.
Did you go to school there?
I went to North Central.
It was at North Central. So WTLC had held an essay contest where there was a winner from each category: elementary, middle school, and high school. And the essay was about how to read drugs-free school. And my essay actually won the high school entries. So our prize was we got a chance to be on Rap City. And with that being said, they came to North Central, and actually it was Reverend Charles Williams, and it was part of the Indiana Black Soul Black History celebration. And meeting him for the first time was awesome. Our other prize was got a chance to, at the time it was Big Daddy Kane, Stetson Sonic, and
Third Base.
Right. Big Daddy Kane didn't show up, but I held on to the memories, and when he was here again in 2018, I made sure that I actually rekindled the relationship and said, hey, do you know me? But for me to say this, you never know what tomorrow will bring. And given the fact that Rap City, 30 years, a couple years ago you guys celebrated Rap City?
Yeah, Rap City is around, you see, 1989. You do the math.
2008.
2008. It ended 2008, but it was recently started airing again. So we basically kind of keep it one anniversary.
Absolutely.
You know, so it's 36, the 36th anniversary of Rap City.
It's never been awesome, but for me, it started out as that, and it goes back to the culture, it goes back to the city, it goes back to the fact that Reverend Charles Williams and TLC had a vision.
Right.
what can we do for the youth? And from there, when I was dancing, like everything from childhood up to now, it got me to where I'm at right now with being able to have a platform with the Candy Show and be able to live long enough to meet the people who I idolize, who I looked up to on TV and etc.
And that's basically what I was saying, because they was going to keep me in that studio. And when I said that I was wanting to go outside and leave and find out what persuasion hip hop had on other cities, states, countries, and it's a big impact. And, probably one of the biggest money makers.
Absolutely.
In the country. So, and she brought me some articles, ladies and gentlemen, of it. I didn't know I was that black on here. But she told me.
What's crazy though is that you probably can't even find the original article.
Probably can't.
You probably can't
The
find it.
recorder's probably not in.
No, the recorder's still around, but those are also the Indianapolis Star had covered it, and so did the recorder. So you might have a combination of both, but that was microfiche. Matter of fact, those copies I had obtained here from the public library.
Right.
You know, but the fact is, I'm just thankful and I'm blessed that I'm able to even just be in the presence of a legendary.
No, I'm saying all the time. Gino used to bring me here 100 times. Gino and Dr. Charles Williams used to bring me here. Am I right, Charles? For the black guys used to come here all the time. But the hip hop, I can hear the comedian. You know, you don't put the two together back then. I was here as a comedian, not as a rap show host. But this is unique. And this should be done in a lot of cities, you know. I talked to Ecstasy. No, I spoke to Jalil yesterday. And Jalil from the group Houdini.
Right. True indeed.
And he had some type of disease, because I was inquiring about why has Houdini. I know Ecstasy passed away. But he got a twin brother who's just like him.
Right.
But Ecstasy has a family trait of bad arthritis, where his bones deteriorate. He doesn't have any cartilage, so they can't perform unless they find a treatment for it. And I didn't know that. I was just wondering. He was kind of upset that they didn't have him in the hip hop museum.
That's what
Nothing of Houdini in the hip hop museum, or even in Washington D.C. the Civil Rights Museum.
we got to do our own.
Right, we do.
Like Tariq,
We need to make some calls, because they are one.
That's right. It's ours.
That's exactly right.
It's ours. We got to do our own thing.
I just want to add this too. I want to say this is my first time being at one of Gary's events, but I want to thank you.
It's his birthday.
Yes, happy birthday.
He will be outside somewhere drinking Hennessy.
I just want to say
Smoking a good joint. Oh no, it's legal in Washington D.C. in 13 days. In Washington, in Maryland, I live in PG County, Maryland. For 13 days, it's open season. You can smoke it and look at the police in D.C. 13 days.
What's up, officer?
But before you get out of there, I got one more artist before we get to the questions.
Okay.
I got one more artist. He's not on the show this year, but everybody knows and loves him. He's the Airbus Assassin. You catch him looking around the bike across town. None other than Terry Martin. He cussed me out this morning because I wasn't here, even though you was coming. But I think he got something special just for you, Mr. Mayor. Come on down, Terry.
Freestyle.
Thanks for the genius for that. cinnamon toasted apple jacks.
Y'all know this is a good brother, man. Like OG with the knowledge, man. He keep it all good, all thorough, all day long, but he whipped this up today. And I'm going with airbrush materials, man.
Yeah, there we go. Oh yeah. Yes, go ahead.
No,
People want to hear.
Anyway, just representing him, representing what we do. I don't really like talking, you know what I'm saying? Mike Epps is from my neighborhood too.
Oh, Mike Epps, yeah, that's
Mike
perfect.
Epps, Miss Maury Evans. So what we do, we are hip hop is everything. It's all the arts. Let's invest in it. Let's fight revolutionary with it. Let's do, make it happen. So I use it with art and connect it. You know what I'm saying? So this is what we got to do.
And they got my part straight. There you go. There you go.
It's 19 years.
Thank you so much, bro.
Chris,
Let's get a picture.
Okay, right at me. Here we go.
Keep us posed.
Thanks to my lips, my black brothers living today. On the impact of the collision, my lips shot out.
Oh,
Hit the dashboard and knocked me back into the seats. My lips saved my life.
Yes. I just want to know, you've been around, you've seen hip hop come from where it was to where it's at. We're eventually going to go back because, Lord, this new stuff. I just want to know, with what we're doing today, we're trying to keep it alive, we're trying to keep it going. Do you see the temptations of hip hop? Do you see, like I said, when you step on the elevator and you hear your hip hop classic in the elevator,
Right.
you know you have officially retired at that point. Like, I hear my hip hop in Target.
Right.
Do you feel like we have the temptations of hip hop coming, down this pipeline, with today's youth? Because I love them, but are they gonna make it?
What's the difference in lyrics now? Because back then the lyrics,
It works.
there were words and stories, and now it's just like comedy. Everybody's so in a hurry to try to make it. So they will steal your liver, my liver,
right.
to be something that they're not. Failure is good to succeed. Gentlemen, you know what I'm saying? Gentleman told me the other day, I was hanging out with LeBron James. His uncle is a rapper. And this is the uncle that LeBron James didn't have no brothers and sisters. This is the uncle that was closer to his age. So we went to Sirius Radio to do Rock the Bell on LL station with Roxanne Shante.
Oh, we.
So when we went into the hotel, the guy who was the manager on duty at the hotel, he just said something to me that made a lot of sense about work and anything. He said, if you ain't tired, you haven't worked. And I said, something, I never really thought of it that way. Because I'm up here and I'm exhausted because that's all I've been doing is working.
Right.
So with music, as you were saying, I think it's gonna repeat itself just like movies. And keep having all these remakes. And then the whole thing is a vocabulary. With all the words that's in a dictionary, there's only maybe 20, 30, 40 words that people actually use. It's repetitive. Love, the word love, is repetitive, right? Because that's the only word. You can't say it. You can say great love or love, but supporter of hip hop, basically more than lyrics. But then you got your, you like what you like. You know, some people like Young Jeezy. Some people like Janet Jackson, the Fresh Prince. Some people like Public Enemy. But it's not the same as it used to be. Back then, we growing up, we got everything. We had everything. Now it's the word, the N-word ain't never changed. They still say that. Still calling women out of their name. So, and there's people who love that type of music. You know, I talked to Mystical yesterday too. You know, he's locked up in jail. He said he should be out in 6 or 7 months. He called me from, we was just laughing, man. He was just laughing. I said, when you gonna get out? He said, I'm coming. He said, I said, Mystical, you probably got a lot of music now. He said, you don't think?
It's the truth anyway.
You know, he said he got plenty of music. And how I hooked up with him, I ran into his manager. And last week, was a place in Roanoke, Virginia. They had the No Limit Crew. They had KLC, DJ KLC, Mr. Servon, and Collie Pop. We did a battle.
Whoa.
So I had Team Rap City with Mr. Collie Pop.
Right.
And Mr. Servon had the Team No Limit. And I threw so many damn old, I even went into Google. We Google all the top hits. I beat him hand down though. I beat him. I threw him, I told him to come out with The Show.
There you go.
With W. Frank. Brother, by the time I was through, it was over. And then I went out of the box and played Teach Me How to W. And that threw him off. He said, no, that ain't back in the 80s. I said, well, that's music. Any more questions? So I hope, it's just hard to say, it's what we do. It's what the new artists do.
So we got a question here.
Right.
But when we're done with that question, we're gonna put Law Green on the spot for a second.
Okay. Go ahead.
All right. What I just want to say is very cool to see a national cultural legend sitting here in a room full of our Naptown cultural legends, man. So,
You know what? People thought I was old. They thought I was coming in with my back bent on. You know, you get old when kids, you know, when I was 18, I was dating a lady who was 50 years old. And I ran into her the other day at the CVS. Of course, she was in the pharmacy department. She started going on, crash. It's me, baby. Judy. I said, I don't know no damn Judy. She's like, Chris, I'm 80 now. I said, you have my condolences. She said, Chris, I'm 80. I said, Nationwide is on your side. She said, Chris, I'm 80. She said, Chris, I'm 80. I know I ain't the same no more. I ain't got no teeth, and I've been having a fever. I said, well, maybe you teething.
that's hilarious. But I wanted to ask you, man, with hip hop, you know, originating on the East Coast and what have you.
Right.
A lot of times, and even still, there's a lot of East Coast bias, especially for people from the East Coast. I'm just curious, just from your travels and your experience, at what point did you realize, oh, the country's really got good music all over it, or
Right.
you still kind of maintain that East Coast bias because you're preferential to the hip hop that you grew up with?
Okay, so what really happened back, I had the privilege of going to California to hang out with Mike Concepcion. He used to be a Crip. fascinating because he had a car. I guess they modernized it for him because he couldn't walk. He had a 4-door Mercedes-Benz that had a convertible. And he wrote that song, We're All in the Same Game.
That's a sign that everybody.
So right, and see how, do you have it?
Man, I lost my hip hop card. I don't even have it.
Oh, no, no.
Lost
Okay.
my hip hop
Y'all go
card.
home and try hip hop anthology homework today.
Yeah, we're all in the same game.
It's the West Coast version
Yeah, and then they
of
have
self-destruction.
self-destruction.
Yeah, so
Well, I
it's
just think we're gonna get better. You can't hold on to something that people like and love. You can say country music belongs to Nashville, but hell, they got black country singers now. All right. So I mean, with that, I'm doing a festival in Myrtle Beach. I don't know if you've ever been to Myrtle Beach. It's a beautiful beach down in South Carolina. And it's called the I Love Seafood Festival. It's on September the 9th and the 10th. They're actually letting people buy tickets to get in for $15 right now. So they're gonna have black country singers. They're gonna have Angie Stone.
Yes.
It's going to be a big festival, and it holds like 35,000 people. And I'm one of the hosts on September 9th and 10th. If you need contact from me, you can get my number, or I'll give them the flyer, because I'm trying to get them to do a hip hop segment. I think she was actually, the No Limit was basically talking to them since the 50-year anniversary. You might as well.
Absolutely.
So while Long Green got the mic, I want y'all to know this is DJ Long Green.
Yeah.
It's holding down the coaches.
For a while, man, for a good while. Now, I've been a professional DJ in the last 10 years, man, but I started back in 98. Well, I guess before that, about 96.
Yeah.
There you go.
So we pumping this up too while you got the mic, because there's not really an official after party, and it'll be later, but we gonna party at Coaches, because Coaches is like on Tuesday night, it's the hip hop spot. So you won't just catch Long Green, like you go in there, you might see Freddie on the wheel. One night I was in there, man, they rotated about 7 DJs. And I mean all of the Lex, you had Freddie, you had World, you had Top Speed, you had Metronome. I mean, the list goes on. So you just want to party on a Tuesday night sometime, feel like you ain't got nothing to do, ain't no cover. And it ain't that big, but ain't no cover. But they don't really start spinning till we end up. 10:30. So that's why all the people that's up late need something to do later. After this, we probably just go get something to eat. But we got any more questions out there?
Oh, no, he got this record I want y'all to hear.
We got one more question too.
Go ahead, sir.
This is about comedy.
Oh, the artist.
This is about comedy. You know, you deal with the stage, because that's hip hop too, far as I'm concerned. Far as the cancel situation, what you can say, what you cannot say now today.
Just keep saying it.
Just keep saying it,
Because you know, these are the words that God has given us to speak. And you can't change old milk. You can't. Only you take old milk and get something new, right?
Right.
But you can't please everybody. Pretty soon, roaches will want to live in motels. You have to go with. If people can't laugh at themselves, who can they laugh at? You know, so I know I'm the guy that David Chappelle talks about. I'm the one that introduced David Chappelle on stage when he was 14 years old.
Whoa.
I'm the one that said his name wrong. I'm the one that he said his name
Okay.
wrong. I brought out David Chappelle now, but when I brought him out, I said, yeah, ladies and gentlemen, his mother came to the comedy club. She said, my son is 14, can you bring him on? I said, okay, let me see, it's 9 o'clock at night. I went up on stage, I said, ladies and gentlemen, here's a young man, 14 years old. And you'll never know, he might be our next biggest star.
Wow.
Put your hands together and let's hear it for David Chappelle. never forgot. So this is the song we was talking about, Freddie.
We all agree tonight.
Oh, yeah.
That's evergreen that America has a very strange.
See, when hip-hop artists can work along together, that's when you know that time has changed. We got used to be some artists about Bill, so they were that's that hot. Then that Steve cools down, then they have to work with other artists. So this is one of those records that express, just like in DC, all the go-go groups got together and had a record out called DC Don't Stand for Dodge City. You know, so something's mandatory. When they try to make a big deal, Democrats, Republicans, the same thing. Still one big country. If it rains, we gonna get the rain. If the tornado, we gonna get the tornado together. So eventually it'll work itself out. And I am tremendously enjoying myself. I hope to come back. Huh? Oh yeah, there's a whole lot that I didn't talk about, but I really had some videos. I like to bring back some of the videos of Rap City to show all the different artists that I had on the show and probably bring back.
Chris, I got a question for you.
Yes.
When that DJ Gino guy used to bring you to Indianapolis, did he actually pay you?
You said what?
When DJ Gino came, when he brought you to town, did he actually pay you?
Yes.
Come on down, Leon. Come on down, Leon.
Come on here, Gino.
Come on down, Leon. So before we get out of here, now
Gino ain't never on me no more.
Look, Leon, check this out. It is two cats in the city that I have to have the utmost respect for, and that is Thomas Carver Sox Griffin, right here. He knows the story, and the big brother Gino Shelton. Why I have the utmost respect for them is because they used to hang up on me. Because I was a kid that would call them every day and request rap records, and I knew they didn't play, right? But Gino got the green light to play the instrumentals, right? And he put us down for us. So before we get up out of here tonight, we don't end the show.
I want to tell you, Gino gave me almost $500,000.
Gino said he told me to have a department here for you for years, right? So before we get up out of here, man, I'm gonna move the hell out the way, right? These last few minutes, it's Gino and Chris. And because of Gino, right? So a lot of the artists here, Omar's one of them, we got pieces out there. So the concert didn't go down, but when the concert come back, everybody buy them tickets the fucking day they drop. Because Gino's been the driving force, man. He's been bringing all kinds of people. I mean, he had his Black Night here. You know what I'm saying? Gino been putting it down for years, man. And Gino got a comeback story. Like, this one of the brothers that I love rapping to. You know what I'm saying? But all of y'all, man, make it possible for kids like me to be like, let's get out the way and do our thing. You know what I'm saying? So these last few minutes, man, I just want this to be about Gino and Chris, y'all. Whatever they talk about, and that's how we gonna roll this out. You know?
But in fact, thank the library for letting me do this.
We gotta thank the Central Library. Basically, Tony Ransom for believing in me. The CBLC, Center for Black Leadership and Culture, out there up top. Y'all check that out too. We got a lot of good books. We got a lot of good history that's Indiana history. You know what I'm saying? From spoken word artists, musicians, the visual artists. Like Naptown, we really slept on it, y'all. But it's the power. And like I said, I know we light the numbers tonight, but everybody that's supposed to be is here right now. You know what I'm saying? So y'all just top it up about the little bit of history that y'all have.
Thank you, Gary G. Give it up, Gary G, y'all. I'm not gonna talk. I know y'all hungry. I know I'm hungry. I got a pork chop at home, so I'm gonna go home and pork chop. But Chris, you know what I mean? I'm like I said, I'm not gonna even talk that much.
And we're gonna talk comedy.
No, you want to know, we talk rap, comedy, whatever, but I know these people might ready to go.
What did you do, everybody do?
Yeah.
That's right. What at the show I was on?
Yeah, like think so, yes. Yep. But I just want to say though that, you know, back when I started doing comedy in '93, and you were one of the guys that I was able to call, you know, because, you know, we did the Walker Theater together, the Mount Walker Theater, and it was like a baby papa, you know, and you would, you know, anytime I called, you know, saying, Chris, I need you, Chris was always in. You know, he did a lot of comedians, and through the years, you know, I pretty put a bunch of money in everybody. You can name a comedian, there's not one, other than maybe Eddie Murphy, that I can put money in his pocket with. This guy stayed real. Of all the guys, you know, most of the guys don't even remember your name. So for him to even call my name, I'm like darn near tears, because most of the guys don't even remember your name. I'm talking, you can name from Steve Harvey to Cedric to you made Chris Tucker. I mean, me and Chris Tucker went to Lafayette Square together. But this guy right here kept it real, stayed real. I ain't got nothing to ask him.
That's hip hop.
That's hip hop. That's real hip hop.
And he didn't mind.
So what's the next show we doing again, man? Welcome, legend, man.
So what's the next show we doing, Gino? Come on, man, bro. God bless you. God bless you. Yeah, that's how.
So that was
So next week, so next year, when he does the hip hop anthology, Volume 5, we gotta bring a hip hop artist to close it out.
We're gonna work.
You know what I'm saying?
We're gonna work.
Jerry, let me get a picture, Gino.
Thank you, Gino.
It's about to get your picture.
Come on, Chris.
Candy. It's like candy.
Okay, the vitamin photos. There you go.
And anybody else who want to get a picture, come and get it now. If you want to get a picture. If you want to get a picture,
First his word. Hey, I can't do this without Freddie, y'all. So like,